Okay, one glove. All right. Okay, two glove. Okay, put the leg over. Leg over. Okay, there we go. Sit on there. All right. Well, where's the gear? Okay, there it is. Gas, and here we go. Clutch. Start over. Okay, I think this is how it goes. Bye-bye. All right, in this episode, we are headed into Cape Town. Oh man, I can't believe it. And we might actually make it if I can figure out how to use the clutch. Hey Bonnie, thank you so much, and thank you to people who are giving again and again. Really appreciate you all, and again for the fundraiser, that was super successful. Please give this a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. So leaving the town of, I believe you pronounce the name of this town Kudos. I looked at several sources and there wasn't many actually, but I looked in several places. And that's as close as I can get. So if somebody has a better pronunciation, please let me know. So it started out pretty cool and a little wet this morning, and that region is very arid and has been having a lot of drought, and they really value their water supply. I actually did not take a shower when I was there because their water supply is so tight, but it was cold, so I pulled over and zipped up my vents and got my gloves on and I tried to buffer myself from the cold, and I had all kinds of water on my visor I couldn't see, so I was using my chamois there to make it so I can see, and then back on the road. But it was a chilly, damp morning, and I pray that equates to some water for those folks suffering through that drought. But the further south I got, it started to break up a little bit, but it never really got really warm. And you can see we got blue skies here, so beautiful. I love this terrain so much. And here's a dude sitting on the side of the road out in the middle of nowhere. And this was really interesting. The name of this place, Douse the Light, really kind of interesting. I found that on Wikipedia, I think. But beautiful mountains. Again, I just love this type of terrain and these open skies. Oh, look at these structures off to the left here, off to the right, and they're on the left as well. There's crops under these, and these extend for acres and acres and miles and miles. And there's fine netting surrounding the crops. Really interesting. I saw this from a distance. I'm like, what is that? But look at this, they're really tall and have a total ceiling over. See the crops inside of there and people walking around? I don't know how tall that is, but guy, it's gotta be 12, 15 feet at a minimum. And like I said, these extend for acres and acres. They're on both sides of the road and just went on forever. I would say at least 30 plus miles. And look at the change in terrain here. So getting closer, these orchards did not have the netting over it, obviously, but it's very beautiful. And you can see some netting way in the back there. But as I came down the valley, then you had to go up over this mountain pass. And it was really cool. This was really fun road to ride on. Twisty turny and steep and really good motorcycling. It's really nice. And it was picturesque. And then coming down the other side, look at this valley. I've never been to Hawaii, but it made me think of Hawaii because you have these steep mountains on the sides and then this valley floor below. Like I said, never been there, but kind of made me think of that, especially as you get closer. But extremely agricultural area, lots of crops. Saw grain silos and tractors and things like that. But so beautiful. It must be a very fertile valley down there. Look at you can tell that there are farming plots down there. And then you can see the grains growing here. And again, this is like the steep cliffside there, and then the valley in between. And so beautiful, green and lovely. Okay, so every 6,000 miles or 10,000 kilometers, BMW motorcycles require some level of service. That's the service cycle, and that at each of those cycles, they require something different, but at least an oil change every 6,000 miles or 10,000 kilometers. I reached out to Jaffer from TriStar in Kuwait City, who I should see when I'm in Cape Town, and he did some checking around, and eventually I got the name of Shane, and this is his shop. Look, it's just packed full of BMWs, and he's like the BMW dude in Cape Town, and he's just the nicest guy ever. And so my total mileage when I dropped the bike off was 7,091 miles. When I purchased the motorcycle, I think it had around 700 miles on it. It was a demo bike, and I got a good deal on it. So I've put the vast majority of those miles on the motorcycle, and going to Alaska and back, and then this trip, and it's my daily rider. I put a lot of miles on it. And this is Brian. He was at the shop going to talk to Shane, and as it turns out, he was one of the people who eventually got me in touch with Shane through a chain of people that started with Jaffer and ended up with Brian, and he just happened to be there. I don't believe in coincidence. I think that God put him there the same time I was there, and we got to talking, and I found out that he's the one who connected me with Shane in the first place. So great. I love how God works. But he ended up giving me a ride to my hotel after I dropped the bike off. And this is the view of Table Mountain from my hotel. We're going to see more of that later. And then here's a building, Philip Morris. I just thought that was funny. And then I had to go to the mall to get a SIM card. I still hadn't had a SIM card since I was in South Africa, and I had to have that to communicate by my cell phone. So the mall wasn't as fancy as the one in Dubai, but it was still pretty darn fancy for sure. And I got my SIM card, and I could communicate with the rest of the world. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the contributors. God bless you. I appreciate you so much. And thank you, Cooper. And the fundraiser was so great. And here's a picture of me at the beach with Table Mountain in the background. Peace and love to you all.